Hi, this is Nathan Batty again with ChristianResearcher.com. Today I want to share with our viewers a very helpful tool in conducting a personal Bible study. What we're going to focus on today is a tool to conduct a Bible study with someone who's already a member of your congregation. In subsequent videos we'll address how to conduct a Bible study with non-members, but today we're going to focus on those who are already a member of the Lord's church. Over the past couple years, there have been several members that have come up to me and asked me how to conduct a personal Bible study. They confess that they've never had a personal Bible study with anyone, and partly because they're intimidated by the prospect, they don't really know how to go about it. So what I want to share with you today is a tool that, if you will use properly, can equip you to have a very good and a successful Bible study with someone. The tool is Training for Service. Now, this book was put out by the Christian Church. It contains 26 lessons and covers a wide variety of biblical topics. We'll talk more about those in a minute. This has been around for about 100 years, and it has been condensed from 52 lessons down to 26 lessons. The Christian Church requires all of their teachers to take this material, to go through it, to learn the material, and to complete a course before they are allowed to teach other members. I think there's some wisdom behind that. It equips people for success rather than challenging them to go out without any type of plan or guidance, and in other words, meet with failure many times. This is very helpful material. As I said, it covers a number of topics. Number one, it discusses how we got the Bible. That's a question a lot of people have today. Maybe we don't have as much background knowledge on it as what we should. What was the process of revelation, of inspiration, of the preservation of the Word through the years? How did God give His Word to us? Is it infallible? Is it inspired by God? Then it talks about the divisions of the books of the Bible, how there are different varieties of literature within this one book. Then it goes on to talk about the books of the Old Testament and the books of the New Testament, and why there are divisions between the two. Going on, it talks about the three dispensations of time for mankind, as well as the Old Testament world, the people of the Old Testament, and the teachings of the Old Testament as in the periods of the Old Testament. It speaks about the altar and the tabernacle, the temple and the synagogue, and the Jewish feasts that were very commonly spoken of in the Old Testament. How do we get a grasp on those? Why were they there? What were the teachings being given in shadow that would be brought to substance within the New Testament? Then it transitions from the Old Testament to the New Testament and begins speaking about the New Testament lands, how Christ was prophesied of hundreds of years in advance through messianic prophecy, and then it takes a three-part look at the life of Christ. Following the life of Christ, it talks about the apostles and the Great Commission that they were sent out on, how they were to fulfill that. It speaks of the beginning of the church, the new life of the church. It does a two-part series on the life of Paul, and then talks about the Bible for the whole world. And those 26 lessons there, that covers a wide variety of introductory material to the Bible, and in each lesson it goes into great detail. One of the things I like about this volume is that the end of each lesson, there is a page full of questions. The first questions are basic fill in the blanks based upon what's already been taught, and then the last questions at the bottom, they're more of a discussion question. How is some of this material applicable to us today? What is it that we can learn from this? How can we share this with others? What are some questions that are going to be raised as we address this material so that you can have a good roundtable discussion based upon the material that's been covered? What I would suggest is that each person sit down with this material, go through the lessons, go through all of the lessons, and then use this as a tool in sitting down with other people and sharing the same message with them. Anybody can take this material, learn it for themselves, and then share it with somebody else. I think it's important to know what our tool options are, and this is a great tool in spreading the gospel. I'd hope that you'll consider this. You can stop by our bookstore and pick up a copy for yourself, or you can pick up two copies, one for yourself and one to use with somebody else. Thank you for your time, and God bless you in your work as you go forward spreading the gospel of the kingdom.